Thank you for that introduction. Without further ado, let's Gavel here and let's get started. I would like to call on the Toastmaster, who is Sophie.
Hello everybody, the grammarian for today is Emma, and the timer for today is Isaac Johnson.
Anybody introduce Emma to introduce the grammarian role?
Yeah, okay. Today I will be the grammarian, and I'll count the filler words and introduce the word of the day. The word of the day is equanimity. It means mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially in difficult situations. It's basically an evenness of mind, especially under stress. An example using the word is, I accepted the bad news with equanimity. The timer is Isaac.
Alright, as the timer, I will keep track of the time you spend speaking on your speeches. For your introduction speeches, that will be 4 to 6 minutes, but I believe we are shortening it
to 2 to 3.
2 to 3 minutes for today. Our normal speeches are from 5 to 7 minutes, and then our table topics will be from 1 to 2 minutes. At the 5-minute mark, my background will turn green, letting you all know that you have reached it. At the 6-minute mark, my background will turn yellow, letting you know that you need to hurry up. And at the 7-minute mark, my background will turn red, meaning you have 30 seconds to finish your speech. For icebreakers, at the 2-minute mark, my background will turn green. 2.5-minute mark, my background will turn yellow. And at the 3-minute mark, my background will turn red and you have 30 minutes to finish. For table topics, it's the same thing. 1-minute mark, my background will turn green. 1.5 minutes, background will turn yellow. And 2-minute mark, my background will turn red, meaning you have 30 seconds to finish up your speech.
This is Jacob as the speaker.
My name is Gavel. I am 8 and I go to Gavel. I am in 2nd grade. I am doing IPK. I started at pre-K when first I thought everything was going to be fun. We did fun crafts. But when I got to 2nd grade, kindergarten, I met my teacher, Miss Williams, who was pretty strict. She gave lots of seats or homework, which technically I was not ready for. And the only fun thing she did was when we did break and this quiz thing, I forgot, we called it Game Kid or something. And then on to 1st grade, when I met Miss Paris, I thought it would be kind of fun, because at first she gave candy, but she actually kind of was like the exact same copy of Miss Williams, with her stuff looking different and first grade. And secondly, when I met my teacher, Miss Mandel, she was pretty fun. She only gave one seat of homework for the whole week. And also we only got to do like a few papers for Velvet, and she didn't give that much work. For recess, I mainly just played soccer until they introduced a new word called the Gavel. It's where you hit the ball and get the other person's foot hit, and then the other person gets out. And the last person standing is the winner, and this is the end of my.
Our second speaker for today is Michael.
So Michael's 10. So you can the main objectives. Can you speak the objectives?
I am the second evaluator for Michael's 10th project speech, and this speech is about inspiring your audience. So for this speech, I will be monitoring how relevant his topic is, and then how he expresses his speech to his audience, and how this audience can understand his speech, his tone, his rhetorical choices that he uses in his speech, so if he has like vivid imagery in his speech, his body language, and lastly, how he motivates his audience. So without further ado, Michael.
Thank you for that introduction, Tim. Now, may everyone here please raise their hand if there's something that they do a lot in their life that they've gotten better at over time through practice. I know Isaac with his wushu, Eric with his wushu, Isaac with his yo-yo, Miss Anna with her speaking. I'm sure all of you also have many other things that you can name. But for me, that thing is violin. I've been playing violin since 4th grade, or actually sorry, 5th grade, where I picked it up at Farmington with the school orchestra. As soon as I heard the Houston Middle School Orchestra play, for me, one day, I fell in love and I picked up the violin. Now, on average, I practice about an hour a day, every single day, with as little breaks as possible. If I miss a day, I feel like it's as if I haven't eaten. It truly is that devastating for me to miss a day of practice. Obviously, now I'm a lot better than I was back in 4th grade and 5th grade because of my practice time. I've developed enormous amounts of time to improve myself. Recently, this past summer, I started learning a piece called the Wieniawski Legend. Now, the story behind this piece is that the composer, Henryk Wieniawski, he wanted to marry a girl, but the parents of the girl said no. Therefore, in his love, he went upstairs, wrote a piece, and performed it. That piece impressed the parents so much that they agreed to sanction their marriage. Now, later they did break up, so the value of the story for love is not quite so valuable, but the piece does sound very beautiful. So it begins with a sort of sorrowful theme detailing his love for her. Before moving to a more joyous middle section, almost like a dance at a wedding. What you just heard were the 9 notes that were the bane of my life for about 4 months. Or sorry, 18 notes, because there are 9 double stops. This was something that I struggled with. Never before have I devoted so much time to practicing such a small segment of a piece. Now, there's this Chinese phrase called 台下10年功,台上1分钟, which means 10 years of practice outside to yourself, but only 1 minute of performance up on stage. That's truly what I felt with these 9 notes. Every day, I would pick up my instrument, warm up, and after practicing other parts of the piece, I would start practicing these same 9 notes over and over again. most of the times I will be just slightly out of tune, and it'll repeat. Of course, you don't get better at something without repeating. So over a course of months, I gradually got better. But still to this day, I still cannot guarantee that I'll be able to play it perfectly every single time. But of course, that's just the nature of struggle. I've been building up to this moment for years at this point. Back from when I first played my scales properly. Back from when I started learning octaves just a couple months before that. The point is, perhaps none of you would have known the amount of work I would have put into those just 9 notes if I hadn't told you. But on performance day, the audience will be there to enjoy my music. They wouldn't know the struggles that I face. But to myself, I know inside my heart that I truly put forth the effort. Now, I also learned this piece for a concerto composition with the MYSP. I was fairly nervous that day, but I was able to pull off a decent performance, equating about 90% of my practice best, which I consider pretty good for an audition. I scored 3rd place, which I'm actually quite happy with, because one contestant chosen would be of another instrument, and another one would be a violinist that I knew I couldn't beat. She deserved to win fairly. So my defeat, although 3rd place, I treated with equanimity. The moral of the story is this. Some things in life you would have to work towards. You will put forth hours of effort behind the scenes that only you get to see. The people around you only get to see what you present to them, because as always we want to present our best. So of course they will see only the best part, the polished part, the perfect part. What they don't see are the hours of broken practice, struggles, frustration, sometimes even screams of anger I've let out in my practice room because I just can't hit that note correctly. But it's not important. It's important that you know you put in the effort. It's important that we always strive for improvement, because the same patience that I've devoted to violin has carried over to other aspects of my life as well, in things such as study, sports, and even this, learning how to public speak. So my final message to you is this. Don't be discouraged that you have to spend a long time to improve yourself. That's normal. Not all of us are geniuses. In fact, I'd say probably 99% of the world can't pick up something without devoting hours, days, weeks, perhaps even years. But that improvement, for that maybe just 1% of change, is what's so valuable. Thank you.
Today's table topic master is Shuka. Hello, I'm the table topic master. I will be asking a series of questions to help you guys improve your improv public speaking skills. My first question is, would you rather be shaped like a candy cane or a lollipop for the rest of your life? I choose velocity.
So the question was, would I rather be shaped like a lollipop or a candy cane? I'd rather choose a lollipop because I do not want to have a shrimp back. As I would be standing up, I'd always have my back would always be crumpled. So I don't think I could really talk to anyone face to face if that would have been the case. I think I'd go with a lollipop. Yeah. Thank you.
If you had to change the color of the sky, what color would you choose? Emma?
If I would change the color of the sky, I would make it multicolored. It would probably be blue and maybe a light purple, because those colors, in my opinion, go really well together. and when there are white clouds, it would be a great inspiration to paint.
Number 3. Give us your Shark Tank pitch for your multi-million-dollar company. Eric?
I don't really thought about sales pitch, but it'd probably like hey sharks, you want some rubber ducks in your tank? I don't really know. I would probably just I'm actually not so sure.
How about this cup?
Uh,
Oh no,
I'm not so sure.
you just don't have a
If you had to create a new word, what would it mean? Isaac?
If I had to create a new word, what would it mean? And just like Eric, I do not know. If I had to make a new word. Now, this is a hard question. Because even though there's lots of stuff that I could probably make a word on, all the words that I would have made have already been made. And if I were to make a word, I'd probably be speaking gibberish, to be honest. So, I honestly don't know.
If you had to teach something, what would you teach? Michael?
Now, as you guys can probably guess from my speech, I would teach violin. A lot of the meticulous mindset and also my dedicated practice I have gotten from my second teacher, who has since moved away, but she really instilled in me that dedication for perfection, to always let every single practice session be your best. So if I had to teach them, it'd be violin, so that my students can share the same mindset as I do, because although I've advanced slower than my peers through repertoire, I still feel just as happy because I'm able to perfect every piece until I'm finally wanting to move on with it instead of rushing through a bunch of pieces quickly. So that's why I choose to teach violin.
Would you rather have the ability to see 10 minutes into the future or 150 years into the future? Answer.
Would I rather see 10 minutes in the future or 150 years in the future? I would choose 10 minutes into the future for two great reasons. One, I can predict what happens in the near future, not just the far future. So I don't think I would live to see 150 years in the future. So it's a given that I would take the 10 minutes into the future. Say, for example, I were to somehow get into an accident, I can prevent that just by seeing 10 minutes into the future. So that's why I would pick 10 minutes into the future. Thank you.
Would you rather get $1 every time you compliment a stranger or $100 every time you insult a stranger? Sophie? Would you rather get $1 every time you compliment a stranger or $100 every time you insult them? I think I would rather get $100 to I think it's just it's easier to come up with and like it's fun, they can take a joke and you know maybe I'll give them 50% if I like really have a good things, you know? Yeah. There we go. What do you think will be playing on the oldies radio in 60 years? Who is that music? Gina? Like who, like, you know how now there are people, like we hear like old songs and vintage songs. What do you think will be considered a vintage song in 60 years? What is the weirdest gift you've received?
The weirdest gift I received was on Christmas. I got a pen, and it was just like a pen that was like you could erase it. And I was very confused with the pen. And it came in a notebook, and every time I tried to write with it, it always came upside down when I tied it into the notebook. So I think that's a really weird gift because it wasn't really useful, and I wasn't really able to cooperate with it, and I always got frustrated.
If you could merge two animals to create a mythical creature, what would you choose and what abilities would it have? Miss Anna? Can you repeat that question? If you could merge two animals into one, what abilities would it have and what animals would you choose?
If I choose to merge two animals together, that probably would be a dog and cat, because they are a lot of fun. They are good pets to have, and if we merge them into one, then we would have all the goodness of both cats. Dog can be very friendly and playful, and the cat can be very cuddly. So that would be a very good animal to have. The only thing, and also that combined animal wouldn't be very picky in eating. It would eat fish and also meat and also whatever we have left over. So that makes things easier for the pet owner. Yeah, so I would think to combine dog and cat. Thank you.
Who didn't speak it? If you could be best friends with a character in any animated show, who would you choose? Felipe? If you could be best friends with any character in any movie, who would you choose?
I would choose. There's a show called Nicky and Kitty Dawn, and then there's a character named Dicky, and he's a very funny character, and he moved to Australia in the last season, and that's all.
If you could try time travel to witness one historical event, what would you choose?
If I could time travel to like see any historical event, I would do it. I would see when the Titanic sank, because
wanna see like if what the movies said or did is actually true. If you could bring back any extinct species, what species would it be, Matthew?
Yeah. If I was to bring back any extinct species, it would likely be a dinosaur. I've always wanted to see what a dinosaur looks like, what it feels like, how tall it is, and it would be a sight to see. So thank you.
Would you rather, if you could have any superpower for a week, which one would you pick and how would you use it? Jaden?
I have any superpower would technically be something like super strength because usually I've been trying to actually tried to throw harder, but technically it doesn't work.
And I think that concludes the table topic session.
Okay, so I'm gonna borrow a couple minutes from Toastmaster Sophie, as today actually is our Gavel Club 3rd-year anniversary. And back in 2022, in February, we started the Gavel Club actually in the program called Youth Leadership Program. And that time, Michael was there, Matthew was there, and Matthew now is in the University of Pittsburgh doing pre-med. So I invited him to come back to join our 3rd anniversary. And let's see, Matthew, can you say a few words about your college life and about anything?
Yeah. College life is, I would say, one of the best, most enjoyable things I've ever gone through. I know y'all are still young, and a lot of y'all may be applying for Common App, or pretty soon. Maybe not quite yet, but it'll come by pretty fast. I would say things to look out for in terms of approaching your career and approaching how you set up your life. I would say be open to explore new things. Be confident in who you are. Love who you are, and be confident when you speak. I think this club is really helpful in terms of finding yourself and who you stand for, and also just speaking up about things that you feel passionate about, and the things that you love. So continue to be in this club. It'll help out in the long run. I know this because I've experienced it myself. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I love it. This is the place you discover yourself. You find out about yourself. Yes, and what a brave thing to do. Find about yourself, right? A lot of times it's hard. It's hard to step outside and observe yourself and take courage and take action. But that's the most beautiful thing you can do for yourself. So thank you very much, Matthew, for the wisdom and advice you shared. And Matthew is actually my oldest son. Yes, I'm so glad he came and stopped by and said hello. Thank you very much, Matthew. All right, let me give the podium back to our Toastmaster, Sophie. Thank you.
Thank you. Today's general evaluator is Colossia.
I'll be introducing evaluator 1, Miss Anna, for GS speech.
Hi, Julie. This is your first speech, which is the icebreaker, and you just did that. You did just that. You broke ice. You made us know about you. You started talking about your kindergarten, your first grade, and second grade, and talk about the most important thing in your life, which are teachers. And you talk about the teachers you don't really feel like. And Bomber, second year, is the same kind of teacher. But you did tell us about your PE class, the fun you had with the game. Yeah, so it's a quite enjoyable school experience you shared with us. And I do hope that the teacher next year will be better and more fun, and you will be able to enjoy your teacher.
Actually, I hope that my parents will even let me go to grammar after that, because my parents are already feeling not that good with this teacher. They think she gives too less homework.
Okay, I'm sure they're making a very good, best decision for you. Yeah, the best, they'll find the best school for you. Yeah, I like your courage. You are the second grade. You are the youngest in this club, but you came here. You have good voice, and you show no sign of nervousness. Yes.
Actually, I'm not kidding. There's
Okay.
a boy named Ajay. He's in first grade.
Yeah, Arjun is not here. Oh, he's in first grade. Right. Okay. I thought you are the same grade, but you're very courageous. I have to applaud you for that. Yeah. So keep speaking. You're gonna be great. Yeah. So thank you very much for sharing your life by doing your icebreaker. The objective here is to discover speaking skills you already have and skills you need some attention. I would say that you already have a lot of skills. For example, you come here, you feel very comfortable speaking in front of everybody. That's the most important thing. One thing you can improve is your voice. You can speak louder. Yeah, because you are still young. You're right, still a great schooler. So your voice is not developed yet. But if you want to speak in front of a group of audience, you have to be mindful. I need to speak louder. Yeah, and that will make people attend to your speech, your message more. So just speak louder. Very good job. I'm very impressed. You're gonna do great. Thank you very much for the icebreaker.
So now I'll be introducing evaluator Tim for speaker 2. Hello everyone. I am the second evaluator for Michael's speech. This was his 10th speech, and I believe that's the final speech in all the projects. And you did really good. So for this one, it's about inspiring your audience, and I believe you did quite a good job on that. So I'll just go down the list, talking about relevance. You talked about how you started the speech off with how asking us questions like if we have something that we are good at or something that we like to do. You engage with the audience that way, and you brought up a question and intrigued the audience. It was a good hook to start off. And then talking about understanding and expressing the feelings and needs of your audience. You had good audience interactions, asking questions like that. And I believe when you started talking about your violin, you brought a prop, which is wonderful, and you also gave us a great show performing, which was really awesome. You talked about how we put in a lot of work into many things or skills, but not everybody might see that work and they only see our final product, which is, for your example, performing on stage for that maybe few minutes, but the hours and days of work put in, people might not understand or see that. But you tell us that it's not something that we need to focus on, but it's that we should strive to improve ourselves or continuing to improve ourselves, and that is making an improvement is like the biggest key. So, I believe your body language was really well. You had a prop the whole time, but you still were looking around the room, moving your hands, directing, kind of giving like a flow. And you spoke with great equanimity. And I believe your speech was very well prepared. And after 10 speeches, I believe you are a wonderful speaker and you can do many more speeches. And that's about it. So, yeah, thank you. Okay, so I'll now be introducing the grammarian, who is Emma, for her evaluation.
For the speeches, Judith had 5 filler words and no use of the word of the day. Michael had no filler words and the use of the word of the day. During the table topics, Shrika had 27 filler words and no use of the word of the day. Elastia had no filler words and no use of the word of the day. Eric had 4 filler words and no use of the word of the day. Isaac had no filler words. Anson had 1 filler words. Sophie had 2 filler words. Gia had 2 filler words. Miss Anna had 7 filler words. Mika had 3 filler words. And Audie had 2 filler words. During Matthew's talk, he's gone now, but he used 21 filler words. And Tim, during his evaluation, used 4 filler words and he used the word of the day.
I would like to now introduce the timer, Isaac, for his timer's report.
Alright, thank you for that, Sebastian. Starting off with our scheduled speeches, Gibbet had a time of exactly 2 minutes on the dot. Michael had a time of 6 minutes and 17 seconds, so good on you two. Unfortunately, it all goes downhill from there. Going into table topics, Pelastia had a time of 19 seconds and 19.63 seconds. Emma had a time of 25.44 seconds. Eric had a time of 31.54 seconds. Yours truly had a time of 56.32 seconds. Michael had a time of 49.85 seconds. Anson had a time of 29 seconds on the dot.
Yeah.
Sophie had a time of 16.74 seconds. Gia had a time of 32.47 seconds. Miss Anna had a time of 58.32 seconds. Ramika had a time of 43 seconds on the dot. Claudia had a time of 28 seconds on the dot. Matthew had a time of 18.68 seconds. And Gibbet had a time of 19.6 seconds. Going into our evaluations, Miss Anna had a time of 3 minutes and 18 seconds. And Tim had a time of 1 minute and 45 seconds.
So for my general evaluation, I think we had a pretty solid meeting today, starting with speaker 1, Jibit, talking about his experiences in kindergarten and first grade. Michael, your speech on how practice makes perfect, I can't speak, and the long hours you put in for like that 1 minute of showtime. And our table topics, whoever made the curtains, they were good. Thank you for that. We had good table topics, and we had solid advice from the evaluators. And I think, yeah, it was a pretty solid meeting today. And yeah, that's it. Okay. I'll pass this to the Toastmaster.
For you guys, no? Okay. Would anybody like